Morning, happy Friday the 13th for everyone. Today I have a whole bunch of zucchinis that we got from Sam's friend, and so I decided I'm gonna make some zucchini bread. So what I'll do is, I don't need a big one. I'm gonna take one of the smaller ones, maybe that one, maybe that one, and then wash it. So the first thing you want to do is grate your zucchini, and part of the grating process is you grate and you want to extract all the water you can from it. So sometimes it's good to just grate it and then afterwards let it drain for a few. So cut it in big chunks. I have this, which I love, and I'm gonna use. See, there's a big one. There's really tiny ones, slicer. I'm gonna use the side one, which has small enough, and then you're just gonna continue to grate. And I'm grating into a colander so I can get rid of all the juices in there. So you're gonna do that. You want around 2 cups of zucchini for your bread. So continue on, and then voila. So, like that. See that? I hope you can see that. You can see that? So continue on. Alright. Finish grating. Wash my hands. Now, you can see it's there. And I'm just going to try to wring out some of the juices out there. Juices. Suppose you can use the juice for a smoothie if you feel healthy, but that's not me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of leave this. I'll probably leave it in the fridge so that's not out in the thing. But basically, you're kind of squeeze it out. What you can do also is, once you squeeze out all you can, take a plate or a bowl, take a bowl, take some paper towels, put it underneath on the bottom like that, and then put this on top, and that will again kind of absorb, take all the water, and I put it in the fridge for about half an hour. Get as much moisture out as I can. So stay tuned. Hello everyone. So next step to zucchini usage, because we have tons of zucchinis fresh from the farm. And remember, we grated the zucchini, so it's all grated and all the moisture has been sucked out. I put it in the fridge to let it suck out more on a paper towel. Next is we're gonna, these are all my ingredients I need. I don't know how to do this. Cutting. Voila. So about oh. My trick is when it says flour, I use biscuit mix because it helps the bread, especially with banana bread, or in this case we're making zucchini bread. helps the bread rise a little without yeast and things like that. Fun stuff. So there's dry ingredients. So there's that. Now sugar. 1 cup of brown sugar. 1 cup of, usually people use white sugar, regular sugar. I like to use some white and some brown. I'm going to find my brown sugar. Be back. I found this brown sugar, and I think Wajimaya or Range 99, one of those. And it's an Asian brand, and the one thing I like about it, it's very powdery. You know how sometimes brown sugar gets really moist and then it gets wet and it's hard to, it gets hard when you put in the thing. This one doesn't. This one just is a wet dry, and so I can use it. So it is kind of thick, but it's at least malleable, so that's a good thing. Alright, now we're gonna add about a teaspoon, whatever, of baking powder. Same thing, baking soda. Oops. Salt. And I can put some nutmeg. Cinnamon. Alright. Now I'm going to mix the dry ingredients together. Soup. Get nice and mixy. Cool. Alright, now I'm going to add some of the wet ingredients. Actually, I have some powdered vanilla French from Tahiti that I'm going to use. I'm going to add some Mexican vanilla. I love this thing. You could drink it right from the bottle. Mix it up. Add some eggs. I usually do, a lot of ingredients ask for 3 or whatever eggs, 2 eggs. I actually like a lot of eggs to make it so that it sticks together. So I put like usually 4 or 5 eggs in there, depending on the size of the eggs. They're smaller like these organic ones. Then I'll put 5, just so that I can get nice. And the eggs help link the bread together. Stir that up. Now, usually I add vegetable oil, but sadly I ran out of vegetable oil. So when you run out of vegetable oil, I have olive oil, and I have shortening I found. That when you're baking, you don't use olive oil because olive oil tends to have a stronger flavor, so which will profuse in your baking goods. So that's usually the hard part of using olive oil in place of vegetable oil. So it's better just to use shortening, vegetable shortening, etc. And do it that way. So it's about a cup full. Just remember, this will kind of melt like oil anyway, so you could potentially just put it in the microwave and melt it if you want to measure it out. Or just do like I do and just pound it in there. Let it mix. That looks like peanut butter. Let's add this in there. That's the last ingredient. It's a little too much peanut buttery. Should be. Oh shit! Cool. All right, more shortening. Now let's see if I can put some of this shortening in the microwave to give it a little more flexibility. All right, and then I turned it on the oven to. Some people like it low. I just turned mine to 375. I suppose you can turn it down to 350 or something like that to get a better cook all around. Phew. All right. Here's my oil. Put it in there. Cook it. See how it's a little thick? Want it kind of like, it should be almost a little thicker than, what you call it, cake batter. So, thicker than cake batter, runnier than whatchamacallit, runnier than cookie batter. So somewhere in between. It's good, good, good. And I like that. And this is, see how it's thick? I think it's about ready. I'm gonna add some milk to it. People don't like that. You don't have to add milk, you can add water. I just like to add milk. And this is the point where you taste it, see if it's sugary enough or if you want to add more sugar. And you got to remember when it cooks, some of that sweetness is going to go away. So you almost want it to be on the slightly over sweet side. There you go. See how it's thick batter, ready to go. And you can make these as cupcakes or as bread. And if it gets too wet, I think that's sweet enough. If it's too wet, like sometimes I think that might be a little too wet, add some more flour. And you'll have to test out the consistency and the temperature of your oven to determine whether it's good or not good enough for your zucchini. But I like the flavor of it right now. And the last ingredient will be the almond slivers. I put that last because I don't want it to get crushed in the stirring process. There we go. That's perfect. It's almost like pancake batter. There you go. That's the consistency I want. Pancake batter. And I put almonds in there. Sometimes you can put walnuts, depending on how you like it. Either walnuts. I always like to put a lot of almonds, nuts, because I want it in every bite. sometimes people skimp on the nuts and you can't eat it in every bite. Assorted nuts in here. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And you could put chips in there, like chocolate chips in there if you want to give it extra flavoring, but I think it's good for now. Alright, one thing I do before I cook it is sometimes I will leave it in the fridge for like 10 minutes so that all the dry ingredients actually get melted in there. Otherwise, sometimes you'll get pockets of flour and stuff that's in your batter. But you leave it, then it'll actually get absorbed correctly. Alright, now it's ready to cook the thing. So before I do that, I'm gonna grease my pans, a little oil. Good. Grease the oil. Add a little more nuts. Never go wrong with more nuts. Look at that. Look at that deliciousness. Pour it in there. It's about, you want 3/4 of it in the pan. Anything more, you might risk overflowing. Like me, sometimes I get greedy and I just want to overflow it. Okay. That looks good. Alright, let's put these babies in there. Oops. Speed this up a little. Go. Go. Yes. Okay. Nice and go. See the boot. And about 20-30 minutes until you put a toothpick in it and it comes out dry. And then you're done. Since you waited this long, you get to see me naked. Oh, just kidding. So, it's been 20 minutes and it's kind of flat. It's not ready yet, but almost. So I'm not going to even try to push it. Now let it sit for another 10 minutes. And hopefully then it'll be done. I usually get a skewer, but I think we threw away all our skewers, so I'm using a chopstick instead. Poke it in, and if it comes out clean with some crumbs but not gooping thing, then it's ready, just like every other baking thing. Alright, my chickadees, I think we are ready. Ooh, uh-oh. No, that's not ready. Nope. Feel it. Soft and wet. No, it's still wet. So one of the things you can do is see how the top is really brown. The way you can fix that is you lower the temperature. So let's lower the temperature, and then you take oil and you put it on top, so then the top stops cooking. And then you continue, let it cook. Well, it cooks slower on the top. So that's how you, if your batter is still runny, it's not correct all the way, that's how you repair, so that way you don't completely burn the top. Put that on top like that. Put that on top like that. Push that down. Push that down. There you go. It's all covered. Good. And let it cook. So it looked like I might switch it down from 350, 375, maybe 325. That way it cooks in a lower temperature for longer. Alright, folks. This one turned out pretty good. It's all good. I'm gonna let it cool. And that one should be good. The other one didn't turn out as well, but it's still good. Yep. It's still good now. It's good. They're all cooked fully. This one kind of dented in the middle, but that was probably my fault for touching it when it was still not very formed in the middle. But there you go. There is your zucchini breads. Zucchini.